Perfect eggs. Tamago means egg. Sando means sandwich. We got this awesome bread from Tokyo Premium Bakery. These eggs here that I've already popped the yolk out and have the whites on are 10-minute eggs, and I have our hard-boiled eggs. And these yolks over here are 7-minute and 10-second eggs, which I believe is the king of all eggs. The yolks are jammy, soft, and they're not overcooked. Mustard, mayo, we do a pinch of salt. This is what I think is kind of my secret ingredient. I use a little bit of half and half or heavy cream, and we're gonna do about 2 tablespoons of that. And this is where the real umami kind of flavor bomb comes from, right? I'm gonna use a tablespoon of dashi. A dashi is kombu and bonito flake stock. We're gonna do about a tablespoon of that. And that's gonna give that richness. Don't be too afraid of it. It's gonna be fishy or not, it won't be at all. Mix that up a little bit. Throw our hard-boiled egg yolks in here, and we're gonna just smash those together and cream those together. Kind of a little bit of Japanese and a little bit American, right? So we want the hard-boiled egg yolks for this because by adding the milk, the heavy cream, it's gonna make it actually a lot creamier. And if you, also it's easier to pull out versus if you're gonna, which you'll see in a second with our 7-minute and 10-second eggs, the yolks are so jammy that it will just make your sandwich kind of really runny. That's a little bit thicker than we want. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of this half and half or heavy cream, so probably another tablespoon or so. And so this is where kind of the American side comes into it. And I add a little bit of diced red onion, not too much, a little bit of chopped scallion. And then this is what really makes it, it's a little bit of chopped dill as well. Get that well incorporated. We're gonna move this to the side and we're gonna chop up our egg whites. And this, you can chop up however way you want, but I really like to have it a fine, not fine, but a pretty small dice. I just like to run my knife through all of them. And I don't like to get it, again, too small because we still want texture. We don't want it to just be one soft bite. So once it gets to the consistency that you like, which we're almost there, we're gonna go ahead and add this to our mix. And this is where you can really judge if you're gonna need a little bit more mayo, if you need a little bit more heavy cream, salt, pepper. We'll taste this in a second as well. But that's looking pretty good. That's great. That is pretty awesome. I'm gonna add a little bit more cream just for the consistency, just to get it not as thick. These eggs right here that are 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And we're going to pull a few out just to get that water off. I like to store them in water just because they don't sink on top of each other, and which would make kind of like a dent, if you will. And it keeps them fresher for longer as well. So if you're boiling eggs and you want to have them for the week, don't just crack them open and throw in a Tupperware and let it sit. Fill it with water. It will keep it fresh. One thing I also like to do to, again, add more texture is to add a little bit of cucumber. We have a Japanese mandolin today. You don't need to use this. This thing is, unfortunately, it is super dangerous. If you want to hand slice it, go for it. You can cut this any way you want. I'm just do long planks, but if you're using a knife at home, I would cut one end off so you can just do half moons and just kind of bring your knife down like that. Do what's more comfortable for you and do what is going to be safer for you at the end of the day. You don't want to go to the hospital because you decide to make yourself a sandwich. So we have our milk bread, we have our cucumbers, we have our eggs right here, and then we already have our egg mixture. So you want everything to be ready to go. Some softened butter here. And again, this is just gonna add a little bit of fat. I hate when chefs say that. This is gonna add more flavor. Also a little bit of a binder to the bread so the egg mixture doesn't make it so soggy. You could do a layer of mayo. And this is just room temperature, unsalted butter. We're gonna go ahead and just liberally put some butter on this. We're not watching weight, right, Chris? Life is better when you're happy. And then on one side, we're gonna add our cucumbers, and these are super thin, right? So we wanna just shingle them down. We're gonna cut our eggs right in half. And you'll see what I mean by how jammy they are. Perfect eggs. Can you tell I've cooked 1,000 eggs in a lifetime before? So if you really want a showstopper, we're gonna use quite a few eggs, right? This is an egg salad sandwich. You're supposed to use all the eggs. So we're gonna take our nicest eggs and we're gonna layer right in the middle, just like that. And then we're gonna take our other eggs, one here and one here. If you really wanna go crazy, you can obviously fill it up there. And we're gonna layer the rest of this on top. You can put as much or as little as you want. If you want it super big, keep piling on. But we're gonna make sure we have enough for everybody, right? So from here, we're gonna go ahead and just top our other piece here. But what we're gonna do first though, is we're gonna trim all our crust off the sandwich. And if this is too hard this way, you can just take it off real quick. Do this. Japanese people don't like crust. I don't know why. I don't make the rules. And then I'm going to show you one thing that's actually very vital, in my personal opinion, to making an awesome egg salad sandwich. In Japan, you'll press your sandwiches for about 20 to 30 minutes in the fridge before you actually even eat them. And that pressing helps everything kind of stay together while you're eating it. So here, we'll just go ahead and wrap this. We want to wrap this fairly tight. And you wrap it fairly tight. And then you're just kind of, when they say press, for me, I would just press with your hand gently and while you're forming it into a square. And then you're going to let this sit in the fridge for like 15 to 20 minutes. Which sounds crazy, but if you're going to the river, you're going to the park, it's perfect. Movie magic. Here we go. We're going to cut this right down the middle. And this the reason why we want to cook super jammy eggs. Now these different bites from the creaminess of the egg salad itself to the richness and runniness of the yolk, the crunch from the cucumber, the onions and dill. But that is our Tamago Sando. Yeah, isn't it kind of silly how labor intensive this sandwich is? Want to make it real awkward?
Yeah.
We can. All right.
Hey, everybody.
Or you can chop it up beforehand, which might make it easier.